This episode of the Too Many Hobbies podcast is presented by Tidal. Be sure to use the code TMH18 to get 18% off your order.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Too Many Hobbies podcast. I am your host, Brian Althorpe. Today, our guest is Jamie Hurlburt from Deepwater Duck. Welcome to the show, Jamie.
Thanks, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for working with me. We've had a little delay here, but that's okay.
Hey, not a problem, man. I appreciate the opportunity. I really do.
Yeah, no, I mean, after we've met and kind of talked, I've been following the Deepwater Duck for a while. I wanted to get one of my own, and they haven't been around, so it's been cool to talk with you, and we can talk about the comeback for Deepwater Duck. But
yeah,
I want to start with just kind of your background of duck hunting and what kind of led you into layout hunting.
Sure. Well, I grew up here in Michigan, and I lived over by Lake St. Clair, and I've always wanted to duck hunt, but my dad was not a hunter. I didn't have any. I had a couple buddies that duck hunted, but they kind of had their crew. So it was, it's hard to get in there on your own, to do stuff like that. So, I would always tell my buddy Chuck, like, hey, you guys ever need a guy on the crew, the layout crew, let me know. I'd love to try it. And, of course, he calls me up one Friday night, like, hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow? And I go, why are you calling? He goes, well, we're going to go hunt tomorrow. And I'm like, crap, I can't. I can't, man. I don't even remember what we had. We had something I couldn't get out of. And I was like, but please call me again. I mean, I'll make it next time, Yeah. And they ended up calling me the next weekend. And yeah, I showed up there and never left. I mean, I just became part of, I don't know if they wanted me, but I decided I was going to become part of this crew.
If they didn't kick you out, then you're
they didn't kick me out. No, it was good. It was good. And Mr. B, that was my buddy Chuck's dad, Gary Baumgarten. He's been a lifelong duck hunter his whole life, obviously. And he had built this layout rig that was just, nobody had a rig like this before us. And I should say before Gary. This was his brainchild. But we ended up, it started out, I think, as a 24-foot pontoon or something like that. And Gary kind of had a fabrication shop of sorts. And like, he just kept adding to it, every year there'd be improvements to the boat. And it ended up overall being a 30-foot long with 12-foot wide with a 300 on it, hydraulic steering. And then we built boxes along the front, each side of the front of the boat that held somewhere in the neighborhood of like 500 and some decoys, all on mother lines. And then we had 3 layout boats. We had a hoist on it to bring in the 2-man 1929 Miley Smith layout boat that was built just before any of us were born. And then we had 2 1-man. One was a Banks and the other one was whatever I owned at the time. I mean, I think I've owned about every layout boat known to man. Just trying them all out. And so, yeah, we would set up 3 rigs and we'd have the mothership there and we just all hang out on the mothership. I mean, anywhere from 4 guys to 11 was, I think, the most we ever went out there with. And yeah, Mr. B taught us all the ropes, and each year we'd make improvements, and
right.
Yeah, it was a neat setup. And nobody on Lake St. Clair had anything like we had. We were kind of notorious.
Yeah.
So, which, it's good and bad. Some people get a little envious, and
yeah,
some people, want to be your friend. But we did good. I mean, always safety first. Follow the rules. our big thing was kids, getting
Oh,
kids out, and first time hunters, you know, grown men that had maybe marsh hunted but never layout shot. I mean, it's a different world. People don't realize how different it is, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of easier. Like, you don't have to call. Most guys don't have dogs, but you got to have the investment of the equipment, which isn't cheap, you know. So it's tough for younger guys starting out, you know,
Absolutely.
with getting all the decoys and you know, layout boats and mothership or chase boats, and having, you know, 4 to 6 buddies that are willing to die hard every weekend, you know. That's, I think, the hardest part, finding, you know, committed guys. That's, I don't hardly lay out anymore. All the guys I hunted with, just, they don't do it anymore. Everybody got older, got kids, you know, life happens. And so now what I find through my deepwater duck is I've met so many great people that we just we pick up and, hey, you should come hunt. Say when. I'll show up, man. I will. Don't can't scare me with a good time. So so no, you know, it's that's how I got started, layout shooting. And then you know, I've had my own smaller rigs all during that time too. And then one day I bought a lab, and so then I started hunting some marsh, because God, it's just so much fun watching your dog work. I mean, that's as much fun as shooting the birds themselves, you know, just watching your dog go find that cripple, something like that. So, you know, and being as everybody else kind of fell off, that was something I could do by myself, or maybe one guy, you know, we'll go hit fish point. I have a cottage up on Wildfowl Bay by off Saginaw Bay there, where Zach George and Larry Wise and them guys go up there, and you know, we hunt together a lot. So they're great guys. But yeah, that's basically how I got started in my duck hunting. And now I primarily, if I get invited to go layout shooting, I'll go layout shooting. But mainly I pretty much just go, I can hunt out in front of my house up there, or, you know, I hit fish point somewhere with my dog, just, you know, enjoy a hot cup of coffee, watch the sun come up, and get a few ducks. I mean, it's doesn't get much better than that.
I'm kind of the same way. So. Like my dad didn't hunt growing up. So when I was in college, my buddy, my roommate at the time, his dad duck hunted, and it was, you know, he carves decoys, a world champion decoy carver. And so they got me into it. They kind of, you know, I had deer hunted and done stuff outdoors my whole life, but just not duck hunted, and something I was very interested in. And so I started opposite, where I started in the marsh and that whole deal. And then when I moved here after college, where I'm at now, I had buddies that layout hunted. They're like, have you ever done this? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. That doesn't register in my brain. Like, I'm used to being in water I can touch, you know. And they took me out once, and we shot, I think, 15 ruddies, 3 of us, and I was like, I'm hooked. So I'm like, got home, started looking for a tender boat, started looking at all that stuff, and I was like, that got me hook, line, and sinker. It's like you said, it's a completely different world. The investment is way greater, but to be able to hunt like a pressured area, kind of where, like, now Lake St. Clair is pretty pressured. It's pressured down here. Being able to go offshore and like kind of change up your strategy is, for me, worth the investment. But it's like you said, you can't just go out and do it by yourself. You got to
be safe too. It's just
be safe. Yeah,
you can't mess around in that cold water.
No, you can fall in the marsh and be okay, but if you fall in 15-foot deep water and there's nothing to grab onto, you're pretty well screwed. Yeah.
Yeah, and Yeah, they got to get to you quick and get you out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't emphasize that enough is, you know, don't go out with a questionable motor. You know, it's just too dangerous. I mean, every year you hear about the guys that 3 guys in a 14-foot John boat with a dog and gear, and they're trying to go across, you know, on open lake, and it's just every year we lose them, and we just got to quit doing that. Like,
Yeah,
they're just ducks. Like,
yeah, they're not worth
they'll
it.
be there tomorrow. You know,
Yep.
it isn't worth the risk.
No.
And I think what a lot of it is people don't see the risk. We've
I agree.
done it a million times. Like, it'll be fine. Yeah, it's fine until that one wave hits you wrong and hits you sideways, and, you know, capsizes you or just swamps your boat. And then, especially if you got any little kids out there with you, like, they can't swim in. Like, yeah. So I mean, just be safe, guys. Like, they're just ducks. Like, it isn't worth it.
No.
Yeah. Go on a better day. You have a much better time.
Well, I think like you were saying, people don't know. I don't think that people know what weather to look for. Like, for me, I know if it's any south wind, we're good here. Like, we can hunt. Sure. But there's people that'll go out and they're looking at, I don't know what they're looking at. You know, like, I've seen people pull up to, or I've had people text me and be like, hey, you want to go do this? And I'm like, this is gonna be like 4 to 5 foot waves. This is northeast wind tomorrow. And they're like, what? Oh, I had no idea. It's like, so you were just gonna go out on a whim here? Like, you
got to have weather apps, man. I've got like 3 weather apps on my phone. And NOAA, I mean, out in Saginaw Bay, they've got the buoys that got the wind thing on them, and like, I constantly monitor that stuff. Like, so for you, a south wind is good, but up here on Lake St. Clair, south wind is about the worst.
Yeah,
we kill for a north wind. Like, if
See,
we get a north wind, everybody's on the lake. As well, I mean, it's pushing birds down usually with a cold front. And I mean, it's just north wind is what works for Lake St. Clair, man. It's just
that's the perfect storm for you guys up there. And like, even like the guys that I talk to on the north side of Lake Erie in Canada, it's like when they get a north wind, they're all about it. They're like, this is perfect. And for us, it's like,
and it's calm. Yeah.
If we have anything pretty much north, northeast, or east is brutal here. It doesn't matter if it's 10-mile-an-hour wind, you're still gonna have 3 foot waves. Like, it's ridiculous.
It gets all that area to build.
It goes all the way across. Yeah, it's insane. So we avoid that, obviously, but kind of going back to like what you were saying about the marsh hunting and stuff, it's like, that's why I have multiple setups. So like, if we can layout hunt, or we can go hunt the shore for divers, we got something for that. And then if we can't, then we can go hunt the river or a marsh or something, take a kayak, take a John boat, you know, whatever. But it's like, in our area, you gotta be able to make the adjustment, you know.
Option.
You gotta have options, or else you're not going to be able to. Either you're not going to go, or you're not going to shoot any birds, you know.
Or you're going to force yourself into a bad situation.
That too. Yep.
Right.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I commend guides. I've been out with some guides that took me out in weather that there's no way we should have been in.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 5-6 foot rollers.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I'm not getting in the layout boat. There's no way. Like, we shouldn't be out here. Like, this is like,
no,
you're not going to find a cripple. You're probably not going to hit a bird with that much movement, you know? Yeah. So, but I mean, we were in Maine one day, a group of us, we were hunting with John Rolfe. I think he's since retired, but Bold Coast Outfitters. And we were out there for a 4-day hunt, and we didn't even put the boat in the water. We would go to different spots, and he'd look out and he'd be like, nope. And we're like, really? He goes, it's good right here. But the minute we get out of this cove, you know, where we got to be because we were hunting eiders, he's like, yeah, there's no way we could hunt that stuff. It's just too bad. And so, I mean, we drove all over Maine trying to find spots to hunt. And he felt so bad. He was like, you know what, just let's book you next year on me. Come back out. We'll do this again. And so, yeah, we did it. And we went out the next year and we just crushed
the weight.
But I was thankful for that because, yeah, you see, so, I mean, we don't have tidal waters here. And I don't know how much you've been in tidal waters, but I can tell you when we were in Maine, they had 20-foot tides. So that water would go down 20 feet over 6 hours. And then you had an hour slack tide, and it's coming back in for the next 6 hours. And it was just, we did what was called a ledge hunt. And I go, what is that? He goes, well, I take you out in the water and I set you on a rock and you shoot the birds when they fly by. I go, is that a joke? And he goes, no. Okay. So that's what he did. And you got a line of decoys coming off the rock. And I mean, some of them they're big ass rocks. I mean, they're like formations out of the water. But as you know, if you're hunting, you know, the out tide or in tide, you know, you would either crawl up the rock or crawl down the rock with your decoy line and, you know, the big anchor, and you just set it. And, you know, so that it would stay away from the island that you're on. And yeah, they'd come by and some of them would come right in. But, you know, a lot of times they're coming from the other way and they're rounding the corner and you're just doing passing shots. And it was fun. I mean, it was a blast, actually. And then John would sit off in his boat and we'd talk on the radio and like got 2 birds down, and he'd swing in and scoop them up. But he was one of the big testers of my deep water duck because I figured if they can make it in Maine, they can make it anywhere.
They can handle all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell you, he got into some tides that it would just suck the whole rig right underwater. It was crazy. And I was like, I'll be honest, John, I don't even know how to fix that, man. I could, so, I mean, I looked around at ways to like put a hydrofoil on that maybe with the stronger current, it would bring more lift into it. Like, man, and it just never went anywhere. And I'm like, well, maybe we just won't use it on days like that.
Just abandon it on a day that's that brutal. Yeah.
Oh my God. But I mean, the days it's out there, I tell you what, sea ducks love that deep water duck.
Oh yeah.
I mean divers love it, but sea ducks really love it.
I can imagine they do, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've had video of eiders coming in and they would actually run right into it. I had a hand came right up behind it and literally hit it and then sat in the water right below it. I was just like,
so you know you got something good.
It doesn't get any better than that, guys. No. I don't know what else to tell you, man.
No.
It was.
So did you develop that while you were working when you were with Mr. B and
yes,
all of that? Okay. So how did you come up with that idea?
Well, our brilliant idea for getting motion out into your spread was get a piece of conduit, like 12-foot piece of conduit.
Yeah.
Push down in the ground in the lake is, you know, in your spread as deep as you can.
Okay.
And then we only had, back in the day, we only had like them big flambeau.
Yeah.
You know, with the 6-volt battery ducks that were, God, like
huge.
7 pounds. Yeah. And so we would put that on this piece of conduit and we'd get it in the ground as good as we can. But like, you put that duck at the top and just from the waves hitting the conduit, it starts to like, you'd see it start. So we get on the radio, like get chased by decoys going down. So they'd come out, grab it, reset it. And so I worked for American Axle in manufacturing here in Detroit, and I was their machinist and fabricator for like 22 years in their advanced engineering group. And so I had access to all kinds of stuff. I mean, I fabricate for a living, you know, so I'm like, I'm going to make a float, you know. So it started out really crude. I knew I wanted to use stainless steel because I didn't want it to rust.
Right.
And I wanted to make it so that when it's cold, you could put it together with gloves on.
Okay.
Because that's the worst, taking your gloves off in November, December.
Yeah.
You know, and so it started with, you know, I just curled these 1/4-inch stainless steel rods around in 4 places, and I got like a wheelbarrow inner tube.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I would set it over it and then inflate it, and it would, you know, it'd blow up around the curl and hold it in
pretty
4
sweet
places, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I had to mess with a lot of guys will make a float like this out of like a crab pot buoy.
I have one. Yep.
Which they work great, but if you don't take your anchor line off the axis of the conduit, it sits there and just spins, right?
Yeah.
So I realized I had to put, and I made what I called my propeller, and I should have one of these over here. I don't have one, but it's like 13 inches long.
Okay.
And so you clip the anchors in the kite tail and outside of that. And so by having, you know, being off the center line that much, it doesn't let it spin.
That makes perfect sense.
Right. So this is all my, you know, my trial and error going through this stuff. And and so then I got it to work. I did the proof of concept and it worked. Not as good as I wanted. So, you know, you just improve upon it. And I ended up to, you know, where I'm at now, which is all stainless steel tubing and it's just been refined. You know, I went to a closed cell foam, and now if you shot the old one,
really,
it sunk like it had 5 pounds of lead on the bottom of it.
Yeah,
because that's my counterweight, 5 pounds of lead. Yeah, so if you shot the inner tube, it went to the bottom quick. But now I went to the closed cell foam where you can shoot it. And you really don't hurt anything. You know, everything, you don't lose. What I didn't want was people calling and telling me, hey, I lost my battery duct because your float, you know, sunk. And I was like, so the only battery duct I recommend using on these floats, which some, if you hunt in like a little cove or something, you don't get a lot of wind.
Right.
So, I mean, it doesn't work as well as like on the big open water, but those little like 4AA teal, that's what I tell people to use. Like it'll hold that up, no problem.
I have a Dove.
You know, all you need is that all you need is the flash of the wing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I made one guy a little apparatus that went on the top just to hold those wing things.
Yeah, that's what they're called. Yeah, wing thing.
Just little spinners, and that worked great too. Like I said, it works great on divers.
Yes.
As far as I don't know if you've hunted with my float and ever had to go chase a cripple, and like we've gotten far enough away where we couldn't see the spread, but all I could see was just this little flash of my duck.
Oh, of course.
So I'm like, that's the attractant, right? So they see that, they start coming over, they see your decoys, done. Sometimes they line right up on the float, which you can move it to get them.
Okay.
I tell people that, like, move it all around. There's no right or wrong spot. Some days where it's at works great, and some days it doesn't. It needs to be moved.
They'll suck them in or
but
push them over or whatever.
Yeah, if they're lining up over it, I tell people, like, you know, if you're all shooting, you know, right-handed, then move it to the right side of the pocket so they're coming in, and then they'll dive into the pocket, and they should open up beautifully for you to shoot right-handed. If you got a 2-man with some, I mean, you know, a two-man layout boat, and I know you figured this out. It's good to have some friends that are left-handed.
Because I'll tell you what, if I'm on the right side of that, I
They
can't
get the
do
right
it.
side of the boat, right? Because all you can
I
do
know.
is shoot
I
straight
can
ahead.
try.
But, yeah, we always tried to find left-handed guys.
Luckily, one of the guys that I started layout hunting with was left-handed, and so like that was helpful. We had
That's
we
perfect.
had two single mans. So we didn't have a two-man when we would back then. So there's two banks that we put right next to each other. And yeah, he would sit on the right-hand side, I'd sit on the left-hand side, and just cover the whole deal. Yeah.
Why nobody's shooting each other? That's important.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the stuff you ferret out when you start doing something for a decent amount of time is like, anybody that's a lefty, invite them out. We'll get them into this. We got a spot
you can
for
put them. Well, and you can put
Either
them
that-
if you're hunting a boat. You can put them on the right side of the boat. You can put, it's lefties are hard to come
Lefties are
by.
important in hunting. Yes, they are. They're important. So or you take that two-man, that right-hand spot on the two-man and put the camera guy there.
Yeah, I can do that too.
The left guy shoots, and then the camera guy is filming. So we did that a few times. So it's rough filming from a layout boat.
It's not my favorite.
There's not enough stability control in the world for that.
For me, it's just like how I film. Like I like to look through my viewfinder. So if I'm laying all the way down, I can't get up fast enough to get set on it. So you do what you got to do, but
you just kind of got to hold it up and look through your viewfinder. Right? No, I get it, and it's tough. When bluebills or redheads are screaming in, it's really hard to pick them up at a distance to where you can get them. And then, if there's 6 of them, you're just trying to stay wide enough that you can maybe get the guy shooting them, because you're probably not going to get zoomed in on the right one by any means.
No.
I wondered how they did that hunting the flooded timber until I hunted flooded timber. And then I was like, well, you guys got all day and you're shooting 747s, man. What are you talking about? Like, I'm trying to shoot F-16s out here. This is no wonder you guys can pick out all Drakes and all that stuff. You got a little more time in there, but
compared to divers, this is like,
oh my god, they're so fast.
Oh, it's brutal. Yeah.
Bufflehead. That's the easiest Drake to pick out.
Easy. Yeah. But everything else, it's like
you gotta look. Yeah, you gotta look.
You gotta get good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
when you started developing that deep water duck, about what time was that? Like what year was that?
Like 05.
Okay. So been a while.
I've been doing it for about 20 years now. And it was always just a hobby.
Yeah.
Something I did out of my garage. I might sell 500 a year, something like that.
That's pretty good.
And no, it was all right, but I mean, it was a lot of work as a hobby. As I got home from work, and everybody, as much as you would love everybody to like order them now, most people, and there's people that are going to see this and be like, yeah, we're trying to order it now from me, but and I'm working on it, guys. But that I like to duck hunt, in my busiest time is duck season, and then I was doing shows like we do Bay City, and we do Point Malay, and I used to do Crane Creek.
Yeah, when that was around.
Is there another one down there we did in Ohio? I'm trying to think. Crane Creek. That got shut down. I was only there 2 years, and then it got shut down. They just stopped doing it. But I'd go out to Tuckerton, New Jersey. That's a big show. That's a great show. Anybody. And the hunting out there is just unbelievable. And then I would go to Easton, Maryland for the big show there. I didn't do that good there. There's a lot of crab pot buoys in in Maryland. So
Yeah, people see it and they go, "Oh, I'll just make that with 1,000 crab pot
that's
buoys."
and
Got
hey,
certain-
you know what? That's what I did, and I love people that do that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. If somebody can see my product and then, like I got ripped off by Banded.
When they
Banded
did
came
theirs,
out, same thing.
Yep.
But it was like at the time I did it, it was a hobby, and just I looked into getting a patent on it, and like it was going to be in the neighborhood of 50 grand.
Yeah, so it's not even worth it.
So
for
it's
what you're
just,
gonna make. Yeah.
yeah. So, and it had already been out on the market a year. So once something's in the market for a year and it's not patented,
Yeah.
kind of open game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't care. I'm okay with that. Like I said, it was just for fun for me. It was a hobby, a little extra money, supported my habit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I made a great name for myself because I used a quality product. I used, or I should say, quality materials. I mean, I went all stainless steel. I drilled all the holes myself. I made all the welds myself. So if that thing manufacturing wise failed you, I was happy to replace it.
They had to run over with a truck.
Well, and I tell people, like, if you shoot it, like, you got to buy a new one. But if a weld legit breaks or something, I'm happy to fix it. But
something that
it doesn't make you a better shot. It just gives you better shot opportunity.
Right. Yeah.
And I couldn't really state it any clearer than that. Like, it is what it is, but
as a tool.
Yeah. And so I started it in 05 and I went on with it, and we got it to where I liked, the version of it now. And that's what I'm sticking with. But the problem was I was buying my wings from Winduck.
Okay.
The Winduck was like early the 90s, maybe. They made a spinning wing decoy that was just a silhouette.
Yeah, it's just flat. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Where Lucky and Mojo came out with full body.
Right.
Which everybody likes a full body.
Yeah.
For the most part. Unless you're doing field hunting.
Right.
Then it makes sense to have silhouettes. But so I was buying wings off of them, and then they ran out. So I was their biggest customer. They wanted me to buy the company.
Okay.
We couldn't come to a deal on the company. They wanted quite a bit for the company. My wife is a businesswoman, and that's her business is numbers and what her company's worth, and that's what she does for a living. And so when she would figure out, the worth of the company, it just, what they wanted was just ridiculous. So we just said, we're going to have to pass. So if you're not going to make them anymore, you don't want to sell me the mold, I'll just have to have my own mold made. And so I was still working at the time. So when they ran out of wings, I used everything I had in stock, and then everything was out. Yeah. And, I says, you know what? This is my sign from God that we're done for now, Yeah. And I think we sat dormant now for 3 or 4 years, something like that. Well, last July I retired. So I was talking to the wife, and I said, I'd like to get deepwater duck going for my retirement. Again, it kind of supports my habit. And I mean, I've met so many great people in the duck hunt world through this, and it's just been a great venue. So we said, so we got some quotes, and we bit the bullet, and we had a plastic injection mold made. And now, I got my own wings. So I got I was able to put my name on it. I don't know if that shows up. Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So now I got 750 sets of wings here in the garage. February, March timeframe, I started having some issues with my eye. and they thought I was having a stroke or a brain bleed because I ended up with this thing called fourth nerve palsy in my eye, which my eye just kind of stopped working. Like I couldn't move it. It just kind of went up to the corner here. And so I wear this so people aren't always looking back and forth at me. And it's easier for me because my eyes are looking in two different spots. So it gets me disoriented.
Yeah.
But with just having one eye, it's very hard to do meticulous things with your hands because your depth perception's off quite a bit. And so we're dealing with it, you know, but I apologize to everybody that's been waiting on these because it has set me farther back than I wanted to. But I still, these are going to be, the plan is probably next month. They'll be up for sale. I did not get the website built like I wanted to. That's still something that's going to happen. But yeah, I will start putting these up for sale here. I just got a lot of I got to go pick up the tubing and stuff that I purchased is all finally done. And so then I can start putting floats together and making the decoys. I made a few extra molds of the decoys now so I can more production line it.
Cool.
Yeah, because before I just had one mold.
Yeah.
I had one scoter mold and I had one like diver mold.
Yeah.
And the diver mold I would do bluebills, redheads, and old squaw, which old squaw is the most popular one.
Oh yeah.
And then the scoter mold, I could sand the bump down in the nose and fix the bill, and I could turn that into a canvas back.
Oh, canvas back. Okay.
Yeah, so I can do all do all the scoters or the eiders and you know, just with paint. But but now I actually have an eider mold. I have 2 scoter molds, and I think I have 3 diver molds. So yeah, Walt Patke carved my molds, my masters. So Walt's a good guy, man. He's I was just talking to him. We're gonna get together on a hunt this year up in Drummond Island there, but
that'll be cool.
Yeah, so everything is going great, other than, you know, like I'm dealing with a little bit of this medical stuff. So I feel great, you know. So we're gonna keep it going. It's just I just can't do stuff as fast as I normally could. So fair. I ask people, bear with me. I've got plenty of wings now, so we can keep it going, and we'll get anybody that wants one. We'll get a float for sure.
Yeah, I think that anybody that's a fan is not going to be worried about waiting for a little longer.
Well, they've waited. Yeah, what's another month, right?
I think
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Just to say, I mean, it's like I was telling you when we wanted to do this was want to line it up so that it comes out about the same time that you're ready to start selling stuff. And I think it'd be I mean, I know I'm looking forward to getting one. So
and hey, I appreciate you for thinking of me like that. I really do. Because I haven't done a lot of podcasts. Obviously it shows I can talk anybody's ear off, you know, but and I love talking to people at the shows. And I love going to different areas with guys that use my floats in like the East Coast and guys out in Washington State, you know, hunting the Columbia River in like, you know, I got invites to go out there, but I just like to see the different ways that they hunt and try and like, I wonder if that would work here, you know, if something works great or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a godsend. It really has. I mean, I'm not getting rich off it by any means, but it's just, I knew when I retired, I wanted to stay in the duck hunting world. Whether I went and worked for a manufacturer, which I kind of didn't want to do that. I looked into, like I said, I looked into wind duck. We couldn't make a deal. I looked into LED decoys. Remember those?
Yep. Back.
Jason's a great guy. Him and Travis, great guys. But we just couldn't reach a deal on what they wanted and what I wanted. So, you know, I mean, we're still buddies. It just I just asked him one day, like, hey, if you're not going to do anything with this, What do you want for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so no, I think nothing but the world of those guys. They're great guys. They got a great product, and I hope someday they can get that brought back to market, because I think it was a great decoy.
They're great.
Just impervious, heavy, but they ride nice. They remind me of old carved blocks. They really do, though. They got that big round body on it, which is that's like an Erie style. Them big round bodies. They like that for divers. And I think Jason invented a great thing, and I hope he can get it to work for him. I really do, because I think they're great decoys. I mean, you need a boat, because you ain't carrying them in. No way.
Big old 30-foot pontoon. Yeah.
You would never. I don't think you'd ever need another decoy. Once you bought them, you would just need more. But unless you lose it, they're never wearing out.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so anyway, all that stuff fell through. This was just, I was looking for stuff for retirement, just to have some fun and stay in the duck hunting world. And so, like I said, we're resurrecting deepwater duck, and I still dabble around a little with the
calls,
with duck calls.
Do you take orders on those, or you just make them and sell them?
I make what I want, and I make what I want and put them up for sale. I don't get stressed out by a lot of stuff. Orders stress me out.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And so, and with my eye like this, I don't trust myself to run the lathe without losing a finger. So that's like I said, everything is, even like painting the decoys is rough, because when you're going in with a paintbrush, you don't know where the decoy's at. So it's kind of hard.
It changes your depth perception.
To do real fine line stuff or anything like that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, we're dealing with it. We're trying to get healed up, and God willing, we'll be back at her. But I'm just.
Well, I know.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say. I mean, sorry.
I just can't do it as fast as I could before. So
yeah, that's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
So I know when we were talking before, you were talking about the kite tail on the back of the decoy, and you're saying that it's as you've gotten the opportunity to travel around and see how the decoy has performed. Was that something that came out of that?
Yes, that is something that I found was an improvement.
Okay.
But and this is where I'm at. I'm probably the worst businessman in the world, because I don't want to sell a duck hunter something he already has.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Let me get you over to this screen here that I got. Like, can you make that board out okay?
Yep.
Or do you want me to move the computer closer?
No, I can see that.
Okay, so
yep, that's good.
I'll try and explain this to everybody that has one. So basically, can you see me okay?
Yep.
All right. So here's my float. So you got the spinning wing decoy, comes down to the float part of it, which is this is about the water line, and this is the counterweight.
Yep.
A lot of times guys hook their anchor line or to a long line down here. That's not where you hook it. I call this metal piece on top. It looks kind of like a propeller, but that's the anchor mount.
Okay.
So off the front, you hook in with a carabiner with a line with an anchor, like you would anchor any decoy.
Yep.
Or clip it onto your mother.
Yep.
From right there.
Okay.
And normally you would have the decoy bill right over it, so it's head into the wind. And what I've found is sometimes when it's running, it'll offload. So the wings will be spinning, and then all of a sudden one wing will catch wind and the other won't, and it'll kind of do this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Back, right? And then it'll equal out and it'll start spinning again.
Okay.
So in order to stop that, I was kind of figuring out a way. And so what I did is I call this a kite tail. So this is, like 10 or 12 feet, and I put 3 decoys on it. So like a mini long line. And I clip that to the back of it, and that now for this float to spin, it has to pull all three of these decoys forward. So that keeps it way more stable. You still get porpoising on the waves. We're never going to get rid of that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, but that's just something that I see people do all the time. They hook down here and then the decoy lays way back like that.
Because it's pulling on the bottom of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So hook.
So for that kite tail to work though, it has to be directly 180 degrees from the anchor line. Because otherwise it would, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Let me get a part. Hold on, I'll show you. It's already set up. If I was more versed at this, I'd have had all my props here. But this is
it does look like a prop. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is it. This is the piece. So your anchor line
can't
goes
screw it
here.
up.
Right. And then the kite tail just goes right here.
Perfect.
But I tell everybody clip it with a carabiner because this is just water jetted out. So sometimes
It's rough.
yeah, I don't want it to cut somebody's line if they just tie a line on it. But yeah, and so that, you know, you're 180 degrees behind it. So whether you're hunting in a river or a tidal current or something like that, that will keep that thing very straight.
Got it. Okay.
Now, for the guys that do hunt tidal water or a river, like a Columbia River or something like that, a lot of times the tide isn't moving the water the same way as the wind. And this doesn't spin unless the wind's hitting the wings. So what I tell people is hook your anchor line up when you're in current and let the current set the float where that's going to be floating with that current. And if it isn't heading to the wind, you just come over to the decoy, loosen up this thumb screw. So say that way the current's setting it this way right here, but the wind is coming this way. Just turn the decoy like this till it's heading to the wind and tighten this back up. So the current will hold the float in place right here. And now you'll be heading to the wind and your wings will be spinning.
May make sense.
Yeah. A lot of guys,
that's pretty
some
easy.
guys do, but a lot of guys miss that opportunity to do that. And they're like, oh, it's not working today. You know, and it's just,
it just needs to be adjusted.
well, I mean, it's a wind powered decoy. So
Right.
if you're not heading in the wind, probably not gonna work the best like it's supposed to. So
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
yeah, I try to clear that up with some of the people. Yeah, I try to make that as versatile for any situation that I can think of or that I have ever went and experienced in other places.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, again, I try to, how can I make my float better? Because you know, it works great where I'm at, but out here, again, like that story in Maine, that tidal water was so bad that it would just pull the decoy underwater and the whole thing would go underwater. And it's like, crap, what do you do now? You know, like, I ain't going in after it. So,
no, it's gone.
But yeah, I've got it. I feel I've got it to a good place now. Now, you know, I'm not relying on anybody because now I got my own wings.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, now it's all mine, you know.
That's
so
awesome.
This is kind of my baby, and we'll just keep doing it. And I'll just, you know, I'm just trying to make people happy. If somebody's willing to give me their hard-earned money, like I definitely stand behind my product. So,
yeah. Well, I know I've heard from multiple people that were hoping that this would come back. So, and myself included, because I want.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I've got about 99% of the pieces together. So awesome. I got to go this week and pick up my stock, and yeah, we'll get these hooked up and get that first 100 out the door, man.
That's awesome. I'm
ready. Like like I said, I can't get healed up quick enough for me, but it'll get there. I just gotta learn to, you know, it's a little adversity. We'll get over it. We'll keep going.
Yeah. That'll be all right.
I still got my good shooting eye, so I can still shoot. So that's.
I was gonna ask how it's gonna affect the shooting.
So, but yeah, once my eye gets better, I'll dabble more into getting back into my. I got my DWD custom calls.
That's an awesome box.
kind of a play off deep water duck, but
Yeah.
you don't use calls when you're hunting deep water. So
No.
I didn't want to get a new company name, but I figured DWD Custom Calls. We'll just keep it in the
That's
DWD
so
family.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You might as well.
Yeah, so we'll get back to making calls too. That's kind of my creative release.
Yeah.
I got to do stuff like that, and I got stuff where I can. You know what scrimshaw is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can scrimshaw into calls, and you got the
That's
stuff
sweet.
checker on them and all that stuff. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, like I said, I don't want to make a ton of them, but I want to make some really nice ones that sound good. So, yeah, I've had some good luck with them. I built a nice name for myself in the call making world on call nuts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, I'm like you. I'm just grinding, trying to stay relevant in the duck hunting world,
Yeah, you're just dabbling in a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So
I know how that goes. Yeah, I've done the TV thing now and still going to keep doing that, but YouTube and all these other, marketing opportunities. It's like that photography and like my kind of like you said, my creative release ends up being like the YouTube videos, but all the other stuff is kind of the professional front, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Right. Right. Yeah. Is that your full-time gig?
No, I'm a project engineer for a engineering consulting company full time, and then I just do this on the side. So like weddings,
you know what I'm doing. Yeah. It takes away a lot of free time.
It does, but it is. There's a method to my madness, I promise.
Yes. Oh no. I mean, I've seen your photos and I've seen your videos, and like, I didn't know you were filming for RNTV. That's awesome.
Yeah, I started doing that. This will be my 3rd year doing RNTV.
Right. I'll have to. I don't even. I got a TV here. I got to figure out where I can find RNTV at. But
Sportsman's Channel. But we'll. I can send you a couple links too.
Yeah, it's hard having a TV in the barn when you're trying to work.
Yep.
Because you got to watch it, and everything I'm doing when I work, I got to watch.
Yeah, so, you try to make it background noise, but it doesn't always become background.
Yeah, because as soon as you hear them start, hammering on the calls or something like that, you got to turn and watch, watch violations. Yeah. So, but
well, what's this season looking like for you?
I'm sorry.
What's this season looking like for you?
I'm ready.
You got anything big planned?
Well, I'm retired now, so I plan on hunting every day I can. I got some trips planned. We're going to Kansas between Christmas and New Year's. I got a group of guys. We always do a travel hunt. We're going to Kansas. I do got to talk to Desmond Weaver out in Washington State. He invited me out, so I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but we're going to have a conversation and see. I don't have a lot of plans yet, but I'm just going to hunt. I got some calls out. We want to get a hunt in up at on Drummond Island with Walt Papke.
Okay.
I mean, dude's a legend.
Yeah.
Super nice guy, and I owe him a lot for carving my masters. So he's just been. I think I got the biggest Walt Papke decoy collection of anybody. I get one or two from him every year, and I told him, like, Walt, I don't know when you're gonna die, but when you do, I'll have the best collection of all your decoys.
Sounds like it, yeah. That's
and
awesome.
I will display them proudly, buddy. So,
exactly. Yeah.
But no, and then I'm sure we'll get together and hunt with Zach and Larry up the cottage here. You're welcome to come. Jeez,
I got. Zach's already talked to me. I'll be up during the week when he's up there. So
yeah, Larry's place gets a little crowded, but I'm just like 10 minutes up the road on the halfway across the bay. I got plenty of room for anybody who wants to come up.
Perfect.
I do that. Rich Liberty, Rich?
I know the name. Yeah.
Yeah, he comes up. These are all guys I've met just at like the duck shows. Go to Cleveland every year. I missed this year because I was sick with my eye, but
Yeah.
we go to the big decoy show in Cleveland every year.
Independence there, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been going since many years, since it was in Strongsville.
Okay.
And then they put them all together, but no, and I don't know if I'm gonna really do the shows this year. We'll see. They're climbing up our butt pretty quick, so I think I'm gonna be busy enough this year with just orders.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I can get my website going and get everything on there, like I gotta get a whole new line of swag. I gotta design some new t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. Those are always great. They're great for a company, man. They really are. I mean, these guys want everything. They want hats. They want their hoodies and I try to give everybody everything we can. Just to heck, if you're gonna wear my product around, thank you. Thank you very much.
Free advertising.
I try to get some quality stuff for you, and I try to give them at a reasonable price. But yeah. So yeah, I'm getting geeked up, man. This podcast actually gets me geeked up talking about it too.
Me too.
But yeah, I could use motivation right now because this thing really frustrates me when I'm out here trying to work and I end up sailing something across the shop because it's just not going right. And tying fishing line is a nightmare.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah.
But we'll get it. Like I said, everybody's been so great and so patient. And I mean, I get texts, I get calls every day, like, hey, when can we order? When can we order? When can we order? So I will definitely post up on Deepwater Duck and I will put something out there with this podcast. And as soon as I have a legitimate, rock solid date that people can start ordering, we'll get the website fired back up that people can place orders for right now. Okay. And then we'll have to add all the other stuff with the swag and everything else just because I got behind on it. And that's the least of my worries because like I said, I get texts every day of guys and I just got to answer the text back and they're more than willing to buy. So I can get that going while I'm not that worried about the website right yet, but we'll get that up and going too. So
yeah, and I'll share that too so that everybody's aware. And obviously this podcast will let everybody know as well. So
yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Like these are neat. And I don't know how you are, but in the last probably 10 years, I've switched to so many podcasts over any. And just because you can find podcasts now on anything that interests you or people that interest you, and you see these duck hunters on social media on other parts of the country, and it's like you're talking back and forth online and you never met, but you can tell that like maybe we're like kindred spirits. We definitely got similarities. And I mean, you meet up with people that, you decide, hey, come on up from Louisiana or whatever and hunt. We're hunting in September, early October, where they're not hunting until almost the end of our season. So it's
is crazy. Yeah,
come up, hunt here, and then I'll go down there late, or whatever during your season, and we can hunt. And so I mean, for that, the internet and these podcasts have really been great for companies and for outfitters and everybody else, because you can get rid of all the fluff and just kind of concentrate on just what you like. You know what I mean? And you can do that with diver hunting and like bow hunting. Like you don't have to see one or the other.
No.
So no, it's great. I'm a fan of these, and I've him and hawed around myself because I know so many guides in the industry and call makers in the industry and just, other, decoy carvers,
Right.
Walt Papke, Robert Gohl, Dave Harris. I mean, I've met some great guys in all different aspects of this duck hunting industry, and there's a lot of really interesting people.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you can ask some good questions and keep your mouth shut and let them talk, I mean, it gets to be pretty entertaining,
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the basis of this is, like I've told people before, I hear a lot of podcasts of the same people, but kind of in the same realm that you're talking about, like I've met people or I know people or just people in our area that, I mean, this is a huge area for waterfowl hunting up here in the Great
God.
Lakes. So much history, so many people, and so many different, avenues that they've taken in this industry. And that's why I like having like local people on, guides, people like yourself that come up with products and, kind of base them off of the Great Lakes. It's like it's an untapped part of the market as far as I'm concerned. I don't hear people that have nearly the diversity of people that I have come on, but I don't do a ton of these. I do about 10 a season, and that's what kind of runs through the hunting season. But that's where I've tried to make it a little different. I don't do it all year long, and I don't do a ton of them, but when I do them, I try to make sure that it's an interesting person to have on and that it's different than what I usually hear. Because like you, I don't want to interview the same people that are life story because I've heard them on multiple different podcasts. So
Sure. I get what you're saying. So, and what I love, do you do a lot of the duck shows?
I go to a couple here and there.
Okay, because I mean that's a great place to actually I've seen guys do it now. They're starting to podcast at the duck show because you can get, everybody down the road to come, hey, come interview for a half hour or whatever, and you can just boom, 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 do it. And I tell you though, I can't, aside from shotgun shells, I can't really remember the last time I bought equipment for duck hunting at a big box store.
Yeah, I can't either. Buy everything.
I mean,
online. Yeah.
But that and you go to these shows and they got
everything.
A bunch of guys like me that had an idea and worked on it, and me being a fabricator. Oh, I got ideas, man. Can I make anything out of them? I don't know. Some of it is
try.
You got to try it. Throw some shit at a wall and see if it sticks, and if it sticks, then let's refine it. Let's make it better. I go about it the same way I did in the car industry. In advanced engineering, like somebody comes up with an idea, like a designer or an engineer, and then they'll bring it to us and they'll give a rough sketch and we'll build a proof of concept.
Yep.
And if proof of concept works, all right, now it's got some merit. Now let's build a more refined drawing and make a more refined part, and that's just, different revs. And that's how I kind of have went at this. The wings are the wings. We needed a mold. There's just, that was the only way around that. But the same with my duck calls, refining the shape, refining my bands, just working on new stuff. I have ideas for, I've made numerous marsh stands, and there's a lot of people that got them out there now, and I'm still like, mine are better. And not knocking those, but I made mine. A lot of people have ideas, but they may not have the venue to make them.
Right.
Yep. So you got to get a company with an engineer and kind of work out whatever thing you're looking at. But when when you're able to do it yourself, you can just be like, well, let's try this. Yeah. that's better, you know, and you can just do that trial and error on your own. And where if you don't have the access to the equipment or, you know, a shop that can do that for you at a reasonable price, because it's not cheap. Yeah, so I had a great advantage for that. So for that, I'm, you know, thankful. But that's just, I've always built stuff. I've always been in an industry where I built stuff. You know, it's these hands. That's my creativity. You know, like I tell my wife, honey, you're the brains of the operation. I'm the creative guy. So you keep us out of the poorhouse, and I'll make us some cool shit.
It'll be cool to see if you come up with anything.
Yeah, so we will. I'll come up with more stuff. I just, you know, sometimes it's just I don't know. I'll see a part and I'll be like, hey, that could make my life easier if I do this, you know, and so it's just kind of the way the creative juices flow. So but yeah, I got me a little shop set up in here, and I got me a welder, and you know, just the stuff I need to kind of do my stuff. And you know, I got a few lathes and band saws and table saws and
something will come
all kinds of molds and crap. I need more room already. Yeah, we got enough. We can whittle something out of something, but no, that's where I thrive, is just making stuff. I have to make stuff, and I mean, you're an engineering guy, so you know, you're at a bigger scale on that, but I think you would probably understand what I'm talking about.
If I can't make it, I know somebody that can, and it's a rabbit hole. Especially
I know a guy.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's
good and bad.
Good and bad. Yeah.
Sometimes it costs me a lot. But
to wrap these up, I like to ask somebody, or I like to ask the guest at the end of these, you know, if there's one hobby that you could have gotten into or that you'd still want to get into, what would that be? It's always a stumper.
I've gotten into all of them. That's it. I mean, when I seen the name of your podcast, I was like, oh, I can relate to that. Yeah. I probably would. I mean, I really enjoy fishing.
Yeah.
And, you know, my wife and I love fish. We eat a lot of fish. And so since I've been retired, I have been like fishing for a lot more walleye. But it was just one of those things like, I need another hobby like a hole in the head. You know, and so duck boats don't always make good fishing boats. And my wife didn't feel a need for me to have 3 boats. So it was like crap, you know. So I started fishing out of the 21-foot Starcraft during non-duck season time, because it was just wide open boat. So it worked. So yeah, I mean, probably fishing. I do enjoy fishing. I'm just not real good at it because I just haven't done a lot of it. So I just, you know, I tag along with people that know what they're doing and try to glean everything I can off of them on how to do things, you know. And but yeah, fishing. I'd say fishing.
There's always something to learn with fishing. You can never know too much.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, you know how I said I go to different parts of the United States and they duck hunt different there than we do here. Same with fishing, you know. And heaven forbid you get in with a couple of old timers that, man, they got some tricks up their sleeve. I fished with a couple old timer musky fisher guys in a tournament, and wow, these guys had black bags of tricks. Holy cow. Neat to watch, but they've forgotten more than I'll probably ever know.
Well, Jamie, I really appreciate you coming on, talking about deepwater duck and just having conversation. It was just a good conversation, and I appreciate you coming on. If you want to let everybody know where they can find you and deepwater duck before you pop off, have at it.
Yeah. You can find me on the social medias, obviously, under Deepwater Duck. I got deepwaterduck.com. That will be that's attached to my website. We'll be firing that up very soon here. So, and you can just all my socials have my phone number. You can call me right up and talk to me. I don't mind talking to people. So yeah, anybody ever has questions, like I tell them, call me, just call me. I'll answer your questions. You know, I've talked for hours on the phone with guys. Like I said, I've been to a few shows and I can talk. So, I love talking to other duck hunters and other people, you know, that like the same kind of stuff that we like. And it's just easy conversation.
It is easy. I was just going to say, it's always easy.
Yeah, and if people are assholes, like nobody wants to talk to them anyway, so
exactly,
they usually don't come by. But
exactly,
yeah. So no, I appreciate you giving me the time.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I hope to share a boat or a duck blind with you this season. So
it sounds like I'll be up there with Zach. So we'll.
All right,
we'll
I will be there too. So like I said, I'm retired now, so my plan is to hunt a lot. As much as I can. So, you know, I'll probably hunt more during the week than the weekends just so I can
avoid the crowds.
Yeah. A little peace and quiet while I'm hunting. Right. So, yeah. But all right, Brian. Well, thank you so much, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to have you back on after everything gets up and running and get an update from you. But thanks for coming
telling
on.
you, if we're all going to get together for duck season, we should have one during that. That'll be a good time.
We could definitely do that too. That's no problem at all.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. We'll see you.